It's Clash of the Legal Titans. The nation's top legal analysts, Nancy, Grace, and Dan Abrams, are known for getting into fiery debates over notorious criminal cases, and now they're taking on the biggest trials and investigations in their all-new A&E legal series, Grace versus Abrams. And joining us now are the hosts of Grace versus Abrams, Nancy, Grace, and Dan Abrams, of course. So, Nancy, I want to start with you. What can viewers expect from your new show together?
Well, you know, Jesse, I always say, when you don't know a horse, look at his track record. Dan and I have been clashing since I went to Court TV to launch a little show called Cochran and Grace with Johnny Cochran, and it hasn't let up. So I assume there'll be more fireworks over major investigations and trials because Dan just doesn't listen.
I can't believe you guys have been doing TV together this long. When it comes to Nancy, what is it you think you disagree most on?
Well, I'll tell you, she says that Dan doesn't listen. Dan doesn't listen to things that are wrong, right? I have a hard time hearing it. When I hear things, either legal analysis that's wrong, mistakes, things, you know, suddenly my hearing goes. So then Nancy says, you're not listening. No, it's that I'm not responding. There's a big difference there. But we'll end up disagreeing about outcomes at times. We'll end up disagreeing about why an outcome was reached. Sometimes we may agree on what the verdict should or shouldn't have been, and we'll disagree about how they got there. So, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of sort of digging in here, but definitely also a lot of debate.
Yeah, this is compelling stuff, too. And in tonight's premiere episode of Grace versus Abrams, Dan and Nancy are taking on the Casey Anthony trial. So here's a sneak peek of what viewers can expect as they delve into Casey Anthony's computer searches and why she may have been found not guilty.
Forget about chloroform, how to make it and how to use it.
Yes.
That means nothing to you.
It's not that it means nothing. It's that foolproof suffocation. Like, that's like the criminal trial holy grail of like phrases you could search for.
I thought I knew criminal law, but what I'm hearing you say is it was an accident that ended up in death. But when you chloroform a baby on purpose, that is a felony that ends in a death. That is felony murder and death penalty qualified.
Nancy, I mentioned it earlier, the Casey Anthony trial, this captivated all of America. In that case, is there anything that you and Dan agree on?
Not that I know of. Occasionally, you know, I'll wrench his arm behind his back and he'll give in and pretend he agrees with me once in a while. I think we both agree, and I'll let him speak for himself, that there's no doubt, in my mind anyway, that Tot Mom is guilty. I think the nature of the evidence is an issue for both of us.
And look, we both agree that she should have been convicted, but the question is, why wasn't she convicted? And that's where we really disagree in this case. I mean, I think that it could have been an accident. Still done by Casey Anthony, still covered up by Casey Anthony. Nancy does not believe that it could have been an accident.
An accident.
Right.
My rear end, an accident. When your child suffers an accident, you race to the emergency room or at least call 911. You don't just put the baby in a plastic trash bag and throw her off the side of the road. That's no accident.
Right. Look, the cover-up is different from what actually happened in the first incident. There's no question that this was covered up and it was led back to the house.
Dan, is the cover-up, is that what makes this case so explosive to so many people, you think, years later?
Yeah, well, what makes it so explosive is if she was found not guilty and that the defense points the finger at her dad, basically saying her dad covers it up. We agree that there's no evidence about her dad, but when it comes, the reason she was found not guilty, in my mind, is because prosecutors minimized how powerful pointing the finger at dad could be, and secondly, they minimized the possibility these jurors would say, well, maybe this was an accident.
What's so disturbing about that is that it was thrown out that the father, the long-suffering father of Tot Mom Casey Anthony, not only had something to do with the little girl, 2-year-old Keely's death, but that he molested Tot Mom. Not one shred of evidence was ever put in front of that jury to support that. That was a way of dragging George Anthony through the mud and getting the jury to look at him, not her. And I guarantee you, Jesse, after you see what's on our program tonight, that we learned from a prison inmate, you will agree there's no doubt that Tot Mom did it.
I can't wait to watch the show, guys. I feel like I'm in a courtroom right now, just being on with both of you. Their new show, Grace versus Abrams, premieres on A&E tonight at 11 p.m. Guys, thank you both for being with us.